Hey guys, it's Mo here, and I got to go to my third Girl Meets World taping last night, Tuesday, April 28th. I think that's what it was, yeah. And it was the episode that was the return for Mr. Turner. Not exactly sure the name of the episode. They didn't really say last night, but yeah, it was the first episode for Mr. Turner coming back, and it was awesome. So if you've seen my other videos about the tapings, Ryder Strong directed those episodes. This one he did not direct. He was not even there for that one. And one of the reasons I liked this episode was because it has to do a little something with Batman and Superman too, but I'm more of a Batman fan, so that's why I have more Batman stuff. But yeah, basically Michael Jacobs, before he introduced the cast, he talked to us about how this comic called The Dark Knight Returns, which I recommend anyone read who is interested in comics or Batman or anything, because like pretty much the #1 Batman story. It was a big influence in comics, and especially if you're gonna watch the Batman vs Superman movie, if you want to understand a little bit what's going on, you should read the graphic novel by Frank Miller or watch the animated movie that they made of it. Obviously the movie is gonna not have every little detail, but yeah. Anyway, so he talked about how that story really influenced him, and I thought that was cool because I'm a big Batman fan. I was like, oh, that's cool, he reads comics and everything. And so basically that story is incorporated into the episode. So yeah, it's cool. It's used to kind of, again, to teach the girls a lesson. When they brought out the cast, we all got up and we gave Anthony Tyler Quinn a standing ovation. It was really good to see him again. He looked pretty good, I wasn't expecting to be like all old and rickety and stuff, but I was like, he doesn't really look like he's aged that much since Boy Meets World, basically, as you guys have probably seen from the pictures on Twitter. And then they introduced 2 new characters. One is, I don't think it's a big spoiler, but one's like a principal, okay, for their school, and then the other one is a new teacher. It's not Mr. Turner. So they get a pretty cool teacher, and it's kind of hard to know what to say because I don't want to spoil the episode. I also want to tell you guys about special surprise guests that just popped in to watch the show. It was really cool. Because usually, when I've gone, there are people that just pop in to watch the show, and usually it's not even that many, it's maybe like 1 person or something, but last night it was awesome. First, Will Friedle was there. He wasn't in the episode, but he was there watching, so it was really cool. And then later on, Matthew Lawrence, who played Jack, showed up, and Will Friedle, he grabbed him, and he's like, oh, I just wanted to bring him, he basically introduced Matt to the rest of he was like, Corey had Sean and Eric had, and I thought he was gonna say Mr. Feeney because of, their little bromance thing, so I was like, oh my god, Mr. Feeney. And then he's like, Eric had Jack, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, it's still cool, but I just thought he was gonna say Mr. Feeney. Yeah, so I brought up Matt Lawrence, and he seemed kind of shy, he wasn't really like, hey, what's up? He was more just kind of looking away, but not like in a snobby way, just like he was kind of embarrassed or something. So yeah. And then later on, after they had filmed a few more scenes, they brought out another guest, and it was Fred Savage from Wonder Years and Ben Savage's older brother, and he was there with his son, and it was awesome, seeing the 2 Savage brothers together. And I also grew up watching Wonder Years. I'm not as huge of a fan of that show as I am of Boy Meets World, but I still watched it on Nick at Night. So yeah, it was really cool to see Fred Savage there. So it was a pretty good night because I got to see Mr. Turner, Eric again, Jack, and Fred Savage. I forgot the name of his character on Wonder Years. And then, you know, Corey at one point, well, Ben Savage, sorry, he just got on the mic and he thanked all the fans for coming. And I'm so sorry for the lawnmower noise. This is the only time I can record a video, so I apologize. So yeah, the episode, it actually made me teary a few times because even though Sean wasn't in the episode, he was brought up twice. And I don't know, just the way like when they talked about him, because you know it's about him, the relationship between him and Mr. Turner, and just the way they talked about him, I don't know, it just got me. So that made me tear up. I hope those scenes are in the episode. I'd be surprised if they're not because they seem pretty important. Mr. Turner does mention the accident, so yeah, so you guys will find out. You know, he does acknowledge it. I was wondering if that was gonna happen. I'm like, you have to acknowledge it. You know, the last time we saw him, he was in the hospital. I'm trying to think of what else I could tell you guys. Oh yeah, Augie, you know, the actor who plays him, August. I felt really bad because there was a scene where he had to like, he put stuffed food in his mouth and he kind of choked a little bit at one point, and he had like, the medic had to come, and he was like, because he was like freaked out, like he was crying and everything. But after a while, like, they took care of him and he did the scene. But I felt really bad because they kept making him do the scene because they needed to get different angles and stuff. But you can tell on his face, like, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore, because he didn't want to choke. And I totally understand because I've choked on food before, and I get so freaked out that I won't even eat that food anymore because I'm scared I'm gonna choke again. So yeah, that happened. I feel really bad. Mr. Turner, he was really funny in this episode. Well, maybe more towards like his first few scenes, the first few takes. He seemed to have more of like a Brooklyn accent, but then it seemed like as the episode went on, it like kind of died down a little bit. So I know that maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what it sounded like to me. I don't remember that him having a very strong Brooklyn accent. He was, you know, featured. You know, he wasn't just in one scene, he was, you know, part of the story. There is a possibility that he could be, you know, he could be a recurring character, because basically, like, his character, basically, I don't know, it's hard to know what to say. Basically, Riley already knows Mr. Turner before the episode, so it's not Riley's first time meeting him, so they already have a relationship. Mr. Turner's job, you know, his current job in the episode, makes it so, you know, he can be a recurring character. So I guess that's all I can say. I can't really be more specific. And yeah, I think you guys will like the episode, and I wish you guys could have been there so you could have seen Jack and Fred Savage and everything. And I got a picture with Peyton Meyer and Sabrina Carpenter. And they're like pretty strict right now with the pictures. They were like, one picture, one autograph. So yeah, so basically every time I go to every taping, I'm gonna try to get a different person, since apparently they only allow us to just get one picture. I mean, they had extra time. They actually finished early. They finished the taping, I think, like an hour early, and they could have gotten more people. We could have gotten more pictures, but yeah, they seem to be stricter now. Oh, and at the end, after the episode was over, people were signing. I waved at Anthony Tyler Quinn. I was all dorky, like, and then he waved back. So that was cool. I don't know, I just automatically do that when I see people I like, you know, like famous people. Every time they would introduce people, I'd be like, Topanga, you know, Danielle Fishel. She didn't do any pictures this time. I don't know, I would like to get a picture with her, but every time I've gone to the taping, she never takes pictures, so yeah, that's it. Sorry, I can't really say much. I can't wait for the new season to premiere, especially because the first week, the two other episodes that I was at the tapings for, they're going to premiere that first week. So I was at Secret of Life and Mr. Squirrels, so I can finally go more in depth into those episodes once they air. Michael Jacobs also said that this season 2 is going to be really, really good, and so far from what I've seen, from the episodes I've seen, I definitely agree. I can't wait to see the other episodes. I feel like it's just, like, season 2 is just going to be on another level, like, in terms of just, like, the topics they talk about and stuff. So yeah, awesome episode, talk about Batman, and I can't wait. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm not going to spoil it though. The other thing before I go, I am going to start a 90s YouTube channel, so I'll be able to do more Boy Meets World videos on there. I'm not just going to talk about Boy Meets World. That's going to be a lot of videos. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Boy Meets World stuff, but also other 90s, you know, stuff about other 90s shows, movies, toys, games, all 90s stuff. So I love the 90s, so I grew up in the 90s, so I will let you guys know when that is up, and there will be a lot of videos on there. So yeah, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!